Can you do a modern version of the Renault 5 Turbo, please? That's a kind of a difficult one. I might not be able to pull it off, but I'm gonna tell them that I can anyway. So Tampa 50. Yes, I can. Where is it? I cannot find it. I'm looking for Le Bleu. C'est un Renault 5 Turbo 2. Je parle un peu français, a little bit. Alright, so this is the Renault 5 Turbo 2. I love this car. Just look at how crazy this thing is for the 80s. I think it came out in 80. Gonna have to look that up, get my facts straight before I put stuff out on the YouTubes, because you're gonna get crushed if you have the wrong info. But I believe it was 80 to 86 or 85 or something like that. And then Marcello Gandini from Bertone came in, stepped in and put these things on this thing. Look at these wide fenders at the back. It's just crazy stuff. This is what I miss with today's car design. Do something crazy like this. Take a Fiat 500 and make it into something similar like this. How cool would that be? Or take a Ford Focus and put some rally inspiration on it. It doesn't have to be 500 horsepower. Just make it look cool. Cool and exciting. So, alright, so enough ramble. What are we going to do with this redesign? Well, I love these parts, obviously. These fenders. They're fantastic. One of the best fenders ever made in the automotive design history. So, I think these are a little bit too small. We gotta think bigger here. Let's think bigger. So let's extend these down here. And this bumper, obviously, we need to clean it up, make it into the same color as the body, rest of the body. Gonna make it red. Gonna make a diffuser down here, something like this, with a bunch of diffusers for high speed stability, maybe mid centered exhaust like that. And then we are going to do pretty much the standard redesign procedure, which is to clean everything up. This black plastic part that goes around the car right here, gonna remove that. We're going to remove this rear wiper and also these lights. We don't need the rear lights when we're rallying because we're never gonna go backwards. We're only gonna go forward with this car. And delete these, make it into some. The lighting, I want it to be modernized, so I'm gonna add some LED lights right here. Change the wheels. I'm gonna put. I always thought I don't like blingy things, like bling on the wheels and the cars and the details of the car. But a red car always work. Red works great with some gold. Yes, I know it's a bold choice, but I think it can actually work here. So I'm gonna add some gold wheels to this. Not like bling gold, but subtle, maybe closer to bronze or something like that. Gonna find some cool rims for that. And I'm gonna keep this dude in here because he looks so happy. So he's staying. I'm not gonna Photoshop you out of this. And that's about it. So fenders, match the colors, add some design details, some chamfers, make it modern looking, some chamfers in the rear as well. And alright, let's get to work and let's see what we can do with this Renault 5 Turbo 2. What? I guess first things first, we need to go and throw some, here's the keyword, frisbees. Jules, are you gonna drop the frisbee? There you go. Pancake frisbee. Nice. And there we go. She's set for another 2 hours or so.
Now before we get into the sketching part, just make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. That way you get notified when new videos are uploaded every single week.
Alright, so let's jump into the redesign of this insane Renault 5 Turbo. I just love how crazy this thing is. So the story behind this design is that when Lancia started to have some really great success with their Stratos rally car, Renault got a little bit jealous. So the vice president of production at the time, Jean Taramorsi, picked up the phone and called Bertone and asked them if they can make something crazy and cool and rally-ish out of the Renault 5, which was at the time a tiny French city car. So Bertone said, sure, of course we can. We have this guy called Marcello Gandini. He's only done the Tommaso Pantera, Lamborghini Countach, Diablo Miura, the Maserati Quattroporte, the Bugatti EB110, the Alfa Romeo 90 in Montreal, and a few more subtle cars. So I think he's up for the job to create something cool out of your Renault 5, and that's what they did. So Marcello Gandini created the styling of this car. Of course, there was a lot more that went into the remake of the Renault 5 to make it into a rally car. The craziest part is taking the engine out of the front, just pick it up from there, throw it into the back seats, and convert the whole car into a 5-speed manual with rear-wheel drive. The Renault 5 Turbo was initially planned to just be a rally car, but you know, how can you not give something like this out to the public when it looks this cool and is set to be an icon in the automotive design history? So that's what they did. They created around 4,900 turbos in total in between 1980 to 86. And personally, I really love this car. I love how they took the Renault 5, which is the opposite of what the Renault 5 Turbo stands for. I mean, the Renault 5, it's like two sides of a spectrum. The contrast is so big between a efficient, tiny, safe little city car into a monster rally beast with these incredible fenders and styling. I wish more car companies could do this today, but of course, I don't know if it would make sense financially in today's world to do something like this, which is kind of sad. But hopefully we will see another race or another crazy things like this with the new electric era that's coming. I actually used to have one of these Renault 5s myself. Not a turbo, it didn't look anything like this. It looked more like this. But I remember me and my brother, we used to work at the airport in Stockholm called Arlanda. And we were the guys in the yellow vest down on the ground carrying heavy bags and just loading the airplanes. And each day we drove an hour and a half one way to the to work from home early in the morning, 4 a.m. or something like that, and in our Renault 5. And I remember it was such a fun car to drive. It does not have a lot of power, but that doesn't matter when the car is the size of a shoebox. It feels, when you went on the highway, you go like 60 or something, it feels like you're going 120. Everything shakes and all the noise, and it's revving like 8,000 RPMs, and you feel like you're going in light speed. On a side note, I really loved that job loading airplanes with all the luggage. I don't know, it was just something special about it. We had really good friends there, and we were always making jokes and, you know, playing around with this. We have this machine that you load the bags from the ground. It's like a belt, a long belt that you just tilt up to the door of the cargo, and then you can adjust the speed. So when we arrive to an airplane, we just lift up this belt and turn on the belt, and the first guy, the loader of the airplane, he rides up on this belt, and of course you're standing down there, you can adjust the speed of this belt. So as soon as he was coming closer and closest to the door, to the entry of the cargo, you just boost up the speed of the belt and he goes flying into the cargo hold. Ah, fun times. I remember this one time when I was working there. I will never forget this. It was such a cool experience. It was early in the morning. I think it was spring or something like that. Maybe fall, I can't remember. It was kind of chilly. The tarmac was empty. Not a lot of planes. And then we had this big Thai Airways 747 was supposed to land, and it was, you know, I was responsible for hooking up the electricity to this beast of an airplane, the 747. So it was super foggy. I've never seen that much fog in my life. So I was standing on the ground right underneath the gate on the tarmac. I could hear the 747, but I couldn't see it because of the fog. So I'm looking out at the gate. I can't see the other side of the terminal. I'm at like Terminal 3. I can't even see to Terminal 4 because of the fog. So I'm looking for this airplane. I know it's right in front of me somewhere, but I can't see it. I can hear it. It's getting louder and louder and louder. And all of a sudden, I see this huge nose. I have to like look up because it's so high off the ground. It's such a high airplane that I see this nose just emerge from the fogs, and the 4 engines are spinning and sucking in the fog in a spiral, and it looks so cool when it comes to you. And I'm still fascinated by airplanes every time I see them take off. And the first job when the plane comes in to the gate is to hook up the electricity so the captain can turn off the engines and you still have AC and light and stuff inside of the plane. So when you do this on a 747, you have to stand still while the whole plane is coming towards you and the nose is far above your head and you have the front wheel right in front of you, and that's when the captain stops and you can take a ladder to hook up the electricity at the bottom of the plane. And of course for a 747 you need a ladder for this because it's so high off the ground. So that was kind of scary the first few times you do this, because you feel like you're supposed to move out of the way, but you just need to stand there and wait until the landing gear is almost right up in your face. And another cool thing about this job is you always wonder where the planes are going, and this bag that I'm holding right here in 12 hours is gonna be in the other side of the world. And for some reason, I just love the smell of jet fuel. I don't know why, it's just a special feeling. I think it's because I've been traveling so much, so the smell of jet fuel kind of gets me excited that there is an adventure coming or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, back to this redesign. That was just a side note, just got off track a little bit there. I wanted to just clean this up and create something cool, maybe modernize a few things like the rear lights, of course, change those and change all the things that sticks out on the car, if that makes sense. So the reverse lights, they're sticking out, they look too 80s to me. I wanted to flatten that, clean the surfaces, make them clean, and then add some aero stuff on the back right where the license plate is, and move that down and instead create some cool wings, integrated spoiler at the top. And also these wheels, I really like them. I think gold, as I said in the beginning, gold just works with red. So I chose these rims. I think they fit this car really well. And last but not least, add this massive diffuser in the bottom, because that, to me, just modernizes this whole thing and puts it into a new decade of car design. So that's about it for this redesign. I really hope you enjoyed it just as much as I enjoyed making it. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me today. Let me know what you think about this redesign. I'm TheSketchMonkey. I hope you have a fantastic day. I will see you in the next video. Take it easy. Do you want to learn how to sketch cars and products? Check out my online courses in the description below, where you'll learn everything from the basic tools to use, analog sketching with pen, paper, and markers, digital sketching using Photoshop and a tablet. You also get downloadable resources and templates, and so much more. For those of you who aspire to one day work as a designer, I'll even walk you through each page and structure of my 2 portfolios that got me into a master's degree in car design in Italy and got me my first job as an industrial designer right here in Florida. All courses are 100% online, which means that you can access the courses at any time from anywhere. Click the link below in the description to learn more. I'll see you on the inside.